In this video, we will break down Montana versus Wyoming and the cost of living in each state. Hi, I'm Angie Frieder, and I grew up in Montana, and on this channel, we are going to tell you everything there is to know about living in Montana. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell so that you are notified every time we put out a new video. We get calls every day from people that want to move to Montana, and we love helping them out. So if you're thinking about moving to Montana, please don't hesitate to email us, text, call, anything so we can help you with your move to Montana. Glaciers versus geysers. Let's go over the main differences between Montana and Wyoming. We will break down the landscape, population, and tax differences between each state. Let's go to the computer.
Okay, welcome to our breakdown of Montana versus Wyoming. Let's start out by looking at the lay of the land of the two states. As you can see, Wyoming borders Montana here to the south. And I have to say, I have not spent tons of time in Wyoming. I've been to Yellowstone. I've been to Jackson and the Tetons, but that's about it. And I think I'm like 90% of the country when it comes to that. Wyoming is very rural. Besides Yellowstone and Jackson, there's not a lot happening there, which is a benefit to a lot of people. And I will say that in the comparison between Montana and Wyoming, they're very similar states as far as the lay of the land, where in the northwest corner of both states you have a national park with Yellowstone here in the northwest corner of Wyoming, and then you have Glacier is up here in the northwest part of Montana. But anyway, let's focus on Wyoming. So like I said, you have Yellowstone Park that you've all seen pictures of with the Old Faithful and everything that goes along with it. And then just south of there is the Teton National Park, which is right in here, and Jackson, Wyoming, which is probably the most famous town in Wyoming right now. It's turned into a very, very expensive place to live, and some of the super wealthy around the country have moved in there, and the prices in Jackson are crazy. In fact, I pulled up the listings there, and if you have a spare $69.5 million laying around, you can own this ranch here in Jackson, and I would be happy to help you out with that if that's the case. But back to the map, once you go south of there, it starts to get pretty rural again, but you're still in the mountains along the border of Idaho. And then when you get down to the southwest corner, it kind of turns into the high desert plains, kind of ranch land. There's some more mountains down here, and then you have Laramie and Cheyenne, which is the biggest city in Wyoming. But this whole center part of the state is kind of ranch land, wide open. It's the kind of view you get when you see pictures of the Old West, and you can see it right here. It's got its own type of beauty, but it's very, very desolate. There's not a lot going on out here in the middle of the state. And when we get to the population, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Over here on the northeast corner of the state, you're getting close to the Black Hills. So you get into some mountainous area right in here. They're not as big as the Rockies that are on the west side of the state, but it is definitely more mountainous. And you have the Devil's Tower, which most people have seen pictures of as well. So that kind of gives you a breakdown of the layout of Wyoming, and why I said it was so similar, or part of the reason it's so similar is, as you get up here into Montana, the mountains run up the side of the state here from the southeast to the northwest, and Montana is just a lot bigger, but the beauty and the scenery is pretty much the same when you get down into Wyoming as well. And then on the east side of Montana, it's the wide open area, kind of like the center of Wyoming. So with all that being said, if I have to pick a winner between the two states as far as the landscape goes, I'm going to have to give Montana the slight edge, since Wyoming right here in Yellowstone Park is home to the supervolcano. So if that ever goes off and you're disturbed or don't want to live near it, but still want to live in Wyoming, you might want to go down here into the far southeast corner near Cheyenne, and that will probably give you about a half-hour longer lifespan than the people up here in Jackson and closer to the supervolcano. But anyway, let's look at the population differences now between the two states. So as you look at the state of Wyoming, you'll notice that you do not see a lot of big cities here. In fact, the population of the entire state is only 578,000, and it's the 10th biggest state in the nation, which puts it at a population density of only 6 people per square mile. And compared that to Montana, which is the 4th biggest state in the nation, but it has a population almost double of 1,068,000, and that would make it 7 people per square mile. And with all the states together, only Alaska has less people per square mile with 1. So Montana and Wyoming are at the 48th and 49th on that list. So basically you are looking at pretty rural states. And the amazing part, when you zoom in a little closer, you see all these little towns here in Wyoming. And the interesting part is when you break down all the cities in Wyoming, and I say cities lightly, but there's 184 cities in Wyoming, and the amazing part is that of the 184, only the top 60 have more than 1,000 people. So that's unbelievable. All these other towns are less than 1,000 people. So some tiny towns in Montana or in Wyoming. And back up here to the top, the biggest city, like I said earlier, Cheyenne, with a population of 64,000, Casper with 57, and then it drops off considerably from there. And like I said, after Jackson, which is right at 10,000, you are under 10,000 for all the other cities in Wyoming. And if you compare that to Montana, Billings has a population of 109,000, which is the biggest city in Montana, followed by Missoula, Great Falls, and Bozeman. As you can see, there's a lot more larger towns, but even Montana drops off quite a bit once you get down in here to these towns that have less than 1,000 people. But that's basically the breakdown of the population between the two states. And as you can see, they're both pretty rural, but Wyoming is a little bit more rural. So if you don't mind not having a bigger town around you, Wyoming may be the place to be. But Montana offers some bigger cities, the college towns of Bozeman and Missoula, and then, of course, Billings is the biggest city in Montana. Okay, let's go to taxes now. And this is where Wyoming has a huge advantage over Montana, because Wyoming has no income tax. So I did this website on a different video, but it's basically just a tax calculator. And I put in family making $100,000 a year with 2 married filing jointly with 2 dependents. And basically in Montana, you will owe $19,341 with $5,007 of that coming from state taxes. So like I said, over in Wyoming, if you do the same thing, because there's no state taxes, you only owe $14,334, and that comes out to 16.3% of your total income will be for taxes, whereas Montana's was 21.3. So then we go over to the property tax. And in Montana, the average property tax bill is $2,604, and this is on a $310,000 home value. And When you get to Wyoming, it's also cheaper here. It's $1,900, and that's 0.613% of your assessed home value of $310,000. So again, Montana's way behind when it comes to taxes than Wyoming. And also, if you're going to retire in Wyoming, that's also a great thing, because let's say you make $40,000 for retirement income. In Wyoming, they take none of it. You're paying $36 to the feds. But in Montana, they're going to take $461 of it. So, again, in Montana, it's more expensive tax-wise to live in Montana. But, like I said in the earlier segment, there is more bigger towns, more entertainment, more to do there, and just more people. But if you're looking for, more rural and to save money on taxes, Wyoming is the place to be. And that kind of explains why some of the ultra wealthy have moved into Jackson, is that, you save a lot of money by living there due to the no state income tax. So Wyoming may have a huge advantage in the tax situation. Where Montana has a big advantage would be jobs, because there are more people and bigger cities like Bozeman, Missoula, Great Falls. There's going to be a lot more job opportunities here than there are in Wyoming. Wyoming, basically, you're looking at a lot of service industry jobs, around Yellowstone Park. And then Jackson, same thing, service industry. But then out in most of the state, the rural part of the state, there's gas and oil type jobs, but as you know, that can be kind of cyclical. So as far as jobs go, there's a lot more opportunity in Montana than there is in Wyoming. So that kind of offsets the tax thing a little bit, because if you're not making any money, you won't have to pay taxes anyway. So anyway, that is the breakdown between the two states. I hope that helps you out. And if you have any questions about Montana and living in Montana, please check out our other videos that we have on the channel.
Thank you for watching our video. Our information is on the screen. Don't forget to call or text us with any questions, and we'll see you on the next video.